the Cincinnati Reds an out away from sweeping the 1976 World Series. 2 outs. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Roy White. Swung on. High fly ball to left center field. That should do it. Foster has it. And the 1976 World Championship belongs to the Reds. The Reds have swept Billy Martin's Yankees decisively by a 7-2 score in the final game, as the Reds become the first National League team since the 1921-1922 Giants to win back-to-back World Series.
By the time George Foster had caught the final fly ball of the 1976 World Series, one word represented the world champion Reds: pride. They carried pride along with their luggage to spring training. That pride drove them to become the first National League team in 54 years to win back-to-back World Series. The Reds' brand of pride resulted in their 5th Western Division title in 7 years. But that was only step 1 of their 3-step goal. Team captain Pete Rose noted the tremendous collection of talent on hand as the season opened.
If everybody just does what they're capable of doing, and nothing spectacular, just let Bench knock in his 100 runs and hit 25 home runs, and Perez the same, and let Morgan steal his 65 bases, and let me get my 200 hits, and let Davey hit 280, and Caesar and those fellas, and we'll win a lot of ball games. But there again, the name of the game is pitching, and we got some good pitchers and some good relief pitching, probably the best relief pitching in the league, and you know, and our defense is spectacular too. And I think that's what wins a lot of games for us, is our defense. And I see no reason why we should have any mental lapses in defense in 1976.
But none of Sparky Anderson's Reds would settle for anything less than his best. Hidden under the famous C on each uniform was a constant companion of each man: pride. The proud Reds previewed an explosive offensive season on April 8th. In front of 52,949 opening day fans, Tony Perez led the Reds to a 15-hit, 11-5 conquest of Houston.
It's a 4-1 ball game. The Reds over the Astros. Cincinnati trying to get some more with 2nd and 3rd occupied and 1 out. The strike 2 pitch. Perez line drive, base hit down the left field line. In to score is Griffey. Here comes Joe Morgan. Tony heading towards second base, a 2-run double, and it's 6-1 our side.
The Reds' regular season barrage ended 6 months later with 102 victories, club records for RBIs, runs, and hits, their best team batting average since 1930, and an average of 5.3 runs per game. They sent baseball researchers digging back to 1914 to find a Reds team that stole more bases than their 210.
Number 14, the third baseman, Pete Rose.
At age 35, Pete Rose pounded out 34 hits in his finest April ever. By mid-September, Rose had notched his 200th hit for the 8th season. Only Ty Cobb had more.
Here's a chopper along the first baseline, running over to pick it up as Barr, throwing, and did he get him? No, he didn't. The ball is dropped by the first baseman, Thomason, and they score that a base hit as Jim Barr fell down at the first base foul line fielding the ball, and the crowd comes to its feet in a standing ovation for Pete Rose as he has just come up with his 200th hit of the season.
Rose became the first player in league history to lead in runs and doubles for 3 straight years.
Pete Rose with a runner at second, 1 out. Rose has walked and hit hard back to the mound. He swings, hits a fly ball to right center field. Going back, Jimmy Wynn can't get it. Here comes Flynn. He'll score. Rose is going to second with his 42nd double of the year, and it's 3-0.
Only 238 more hits, and Rose will have 3,000. He's 28th on the all-time hit list.
Number 30, the right fielder, Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey's September spurt for the batting title fell just short. Bill Madlock won on the final day. Among Griffey's key hits was a 9th-inning game winner against Madlock's Cubs.
Davey at second. Pete at first. A pitch. It's swung on. A bouncing ball single to center field. Here comes Concepcion, and this one belongs to the Reds. Ken Griffey hit the first pitch that Buddy Schultz threw into center field for a single. And the Reds have pulled it out here in the bottom of the 9th inning by a final score of 3-2.
Griffey was a model of consistency with 2 14-game hitting streaks. Included in his .336 average were some clutch hits in big games.
Griffey with a fly ball. He hits it to deep right center field. It is just off the wall. Here's Geronimo scoring. Here comes Griffey to third. He is
second baseman, Joe Morgan.
Morgan has had 2 doubles and 4 times up, and now Marshall straddles the pitching rubber. The Reds, with a 2-run 9th inning, have Griffey at third with a winning run and 2 outs. The pitch to Morgan. Swung on, base hit, and this one belongs to the Reds. Joe Morgan with a single to center field, and the Reds have scored 3 times in the 9th inning to defeat the Los Angeles Dodgers 6-5, and we've got a dead heat for first place in the Western Division.
Joe Morgan lived up to his statement that 1976 would be even better than his 1975 Most Valuable Player season. He was spectacular, despite missing 21 games with injuries. Morgan shattered his own club records for second baseman with 27 homers and 111 RBIs. He was the first National League second sacker to surpass the century RBI figure since Jackie Robinson, and only the 5th in National League history. Morgan continued to command respect as a fearless clutch hitter.
Joe Morgan at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's to the plate with a pitch. Swung on, hit hard to right field. That ball is going to be gone. A home run. Joe Morgan with a line drive home run to right field off a 2-2 pitch from Don Sutton. And the Reds go out in front 3-0 here in the first inning.
Little Joe passed the 500 mark in career steals and moved into 5th place on the all-time National League list.
Number 5, the catcher, Johnny Bench.
For Johnny Bench, pride in the regular season came from handling 3 rookie pitchers who totaled 30 wins. He blasted 7 homers by June.
The Reds a leader 2-0. Bottom of the 5th. 2 down, Joe Morgan at first base, Johnny Bench at the plate. Here's a 2-1 delivery with Morgan going. There it goes. Long belt. Left field. Bittner at the wall. Home run. Johnny Bench, his second 4-fly belt of the game. The Reds zoom out in front 4-0.
A Bench milestone, his 250th circuit blow, was achieved on July 30th against San Diego.
Here's a drive. Deep left field. That could be and is the 250th home run of Johnny Bench's career. That went up into the green seats in left field. Number 10 of the year for Bench and number 250 in his big league career as they come to their feet with a standing ovation for Johnny Bench as he sends the Reds out in front 1-0.
Bench became the Reds' 3rd best run producer of all time. And he put the team's pride above his own by asking to be dropped to 6th in the batting order so George Foster could bat 4th.
Number 15, the left fielder, George Foster.
Muscular George Foster paced the major leagues with 121 RBIs. His black hickory stick waved his 29th homer out of Atlanta Stadium in early September.
The pitch on the way, that swung on, hit well, and that one is number 29 for George Foster. He had a line drive out of here to left field. Number 29 for George, and 114 RBIs, and the Reds lead it 6-4.
George dealt a blow to the Pirates in early July.
Foster at the plate. Here's the first pitch to George. Oh, on line drive left field. Griffey around third. Just can't hand the ball, and we win it. How about that one? And this one belongs to the Reds. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Foster, the first pitch delivered by Rick Langford, hit a hard line drive to left field and just charging the ball, bobbled it, and no doubt about Griffey scoring. So the Reds, after 2 are out, come back to win it by a score of 14-13, and they're on their feet here at Riverfront Stadium.
Foster's average was .343 in early July, and he revived talk of the Triple Crown. He was the league's most valuable in a poll of players.
Number 24, the first baseman, Tony Perez.
Tony Perez boomed out 15 RBIs in his last 15 games to reach 91, his 10th year with 90 or more. He ruined the game for the Cardinals' Al Roboski in June.
With the tying runs on and nobody out, Griffey second, Davey first. The strike 1 pitch, swung on and hit into deep center field. Way back, it is going to be, this one belongs to the Reds. of 8-7. Oh, boy.
Perez made the most of his 139 games.
Number 13, the shortstop, Dave Concepcion.
Dave Concepcion led the Reds in game-winning RBIs with 15. One was a 10th-inning single in mid-July against Montreal.
They stretched the pitch. Swung on and bounced into left field. We won. Bill Plummer scores from third base, and the Reds win it by a score of 4-3. And a big victory. Boy, a tough one, but we got it. 10 innings, our 5th victory in extra innings.
Concepcion stroked 5 hits in one game. He drove in 69 runs and swiped 21 bases.
Number 20, the center fielder, Cesar Geronimo.
Cesar Geronimo vaulted into the ranks of 300 hitters in 1976. And as always, he roamed the outfield with his antelope strides and flypaper glove. He hit a long ball in May.
Swung on, fly ball, well hit, back into right field. It is going to be gone for a home run. Well, that's 2 home runs in the inning. That's the first of the year for the Geronimo as he makes a grand tour.
Those were the Reds' 8 regulars, but they were in the same starting lineup just 49 times. The vastly underrated Cincinnati pitching staff divided the spoils of 102 triumphs. 7 hurlers won 10 games or more. The young man who won 11 and saved 26 was the fireman of the year, Raleigh Eastwick. Veteran Gary Nolan led the staff with 15 wins.
Pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Big hop for David. He'll go to first, and this one belongs to the Reds. Gary Nolan, his 7th complete game and becoming the winningest pitcher. On the Cincinnati staff, his 15th victory of the season, 5-2 over Atlanta.
Nolan walked just 27 men in 239 innings. Rookie Pat Zachary was a blessing from the Reds farm system. Among his 14 victories were 10 over Western Division rivals. He was the Dodger killer, beating them 5 times.
The 2-0 pitch, swung on and popped in the air. Shallow left center, Concepcion calling, and this one belongs to the Reds. Here in the 9th inning, the Dodgers go out in order as Pat Zachary has pitched himself a true masterpiece tonight. He gets his first major league shutout as he defeats the Los Angeles Dodgers by a final score of 9-0.
Zachary clinched the division title for the Reds at home September 21st against San Diego.
Plummer hanging a sign as the runners lead at first and second. The rookie right-hander comes set. He checks the runner at second. He delivers. Allman, strike 3 call, and this one belongs to the Reds. The crowd on their feet and standing in appreciation of Pat Zachary's pitching job tonight as he gets a glad hand from Sparky Anderson. They flash it on the message board in center field. Best in the West again in 76. As the Reds have won their 5th Western Division championship in 7 years with a 9-1 victory over the San Diego Padres.
Zachary's rookie teammate, Santo Alcala, chipped in with 11 wins. He stymied the Mets with the first shutout by a Reds rookie since 1972.
He's back to the plate. It is a smash that Morgan has on one hop. Flip to Tony, and this one belongs to the Reds. What a fine, fine pitching exhibition by Santo Alcala here at Riverfront Stadium this afternoon as he gets congratulatory pats on the back and handshakes from his teammates. He has blanked the New York Mets on 4 hits. It is a 2-0 Cincinnati victory.
Fred Norman ran his glittering record at Riverfront Stadium to 33-10. He turned out the lights on the Dodgers for one of his 12 wins.
The left-hander studies the Johnny Bench sign. He rocks to the windup, sends it in, and strike 3 swinging. And this one belongs to the Reds. Freddie Norman has done it again as he pitches the Reds to a 3-2 first game victory over the Los Angeles Dodgers, shutting them down in order in the 9th inning, and the Reds now enjoy their biggest lead of this 1976 season at 10 full games.
Norman's earned run average was 2.38 in late July. Jack Billingham also won 12 and finished strong. Don Gullett rebounded from a muscle disorder to become the 7th Reds pitcher to win in double figures. He beat the Dodgers in September.
You might look for some good gullet smoke on this pitch coming right now. The 1-2 to Paisley. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and this one belongs to the Reds. Don Gullett chalking up his 9th victory of the year in a root-going performance, pitching one-hit baseball over the final 6 innings of play as the Reds dropped the magic number to 4 with a 4-2 victory over the Dodgers.
In the bullpen, Pedro Borbon was dependable in a variety of situations. Rookie Manny Sarmiento was 5-1 at age 20. Will McInerney and Joe Henderson contributed to the effort. Catcher Bill Plummer, who saw considerable action early in the season, had a memorable 7 RBI game and some big hits.
The 3-2 pitch. Swung on, long drive, left center field. That is going to be the 3rd home run of the inning. Unbelievable. This has become a veritable home run derby against Stan Wall. First Perez, then Geronimo, and then bye-bye baby on a blast to deep left center by Bill Plummer.
Ed Armbrister enjoyed a 2-home-run day against San Diego.
1-0 delivery, swung on. That's hit well to left field, and they look up, no doubt about that one. That is way out of here, and Ed Armbrister hits his 2nd home run of the ball game, and identical. He took the first pitch the first time up, hit the next one out, and the same thing happens here in the 3rd. So Ed Armbrister, his 2nd home run of the ball game, and the Reds lead it 2-0.
Bob Bailey swatted 2 in a July game.
Bailey with a high fly ball, left field, well hit, Howard back, it's gone. Bob Bailey with his 2nd long ball of the night. And the Reds have jumped out in front 7-6 as Bob Bailey puts on a home run exhibition here at Riverfront Stadium.
Mike Lum led the club with 10 pinch hits. 1 beat his former Atlanta teammates.
The 1-1 from Devine. Lum swings, ground ball. That's it. By Montañez and into right field. And with Perez scoring, this one belongs to the Reds.
Dan Dreesen squeezed 44 RBIs out of his 54 hits. 1 was a pinch homer in September.
Danny with a 1-1 swing, hits a fly ball to deep right center field. That ball is gone, a home run. Well, Danny Dreesen has done it again on his 2nd pinch hit home run of the season. And that one an absolute no-doubter as it rode out of here at the 385 marker in right center, and the Reds go out in front at 8-5.
Joel Youngblood had a 4-hit day against the Phillies. Slick fielder Doug Flynn took his turn at the plate, too, in a sweep of San Diego.
The pitch to him. Swung on and line to center field, a base hit. Here comes Johnny Bench. Here comes Tony Perez. The throw to the plate, not in time. It's 5-2. And a 2-run single for Doug Flynn to get the Reds up by 3 big ones.
That 5-game sweep of San Diego was one highlight of a season marked by good, steady baseball. The Reds won no more than 7 straight, dropping no more than 4 straight. They were at their best in important games, such as a 4-game set in Los Angeles, when the second-place Dodgers could have sliced their lead to 5 games. But the Reds claimed all 4, 1 on a hit by Dave Concepcion.
Runners leading at every base. Swung on, ground ball, base hit into left field. Here comes Foster. Here comes Johnny Bench. A 2-run single by Concepcion, and the Reds lead it by 3 at 6-3.
At the close of August, there was a festive World Series mood for the playoff preview with the Phillies. The Eastern Division leaders won the opener despite Dreesen's pinch homer.
Swung on, long drive, deep right field. We got a tie ball game. Well, I'll tell you, he's not been a good pinch hitter this season, but he just made up a whole bunch of ground. He shot that baby into the green seats in right, and we're tied at 4.
The next night, Joe Morgan turned himself loose, and the Reds broke the Phillies' dominance.
Morgan and Bench, a double steal attempt. Boone's throw down to second. No. Here comes Morgan to the plate. He is going to be safe. Joe Morgan and Johnny Bench hook up on a double steal, and Morgan never broke stride. Cash taking the throw as Bench came in the side door, and Dave was not paying any attention at all to Morgan until it was too late.
Until then, the Reds had lost 7 of 9 to the confident Phillies. The next game, Concepcion struck a game-winning blow in an 8-7 triumph.
It is 7-6 Philadelphia, bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded. No one out. Reed, calm, cool, and collected. Comes set. He works. Davey swings. Fly ball. Left center field. And this one belongs to the Reds. A gapper into left center field by Davey Concepcion off of a two-strike pitch from Ron Reed. And we win it.
Ken Griffey ignited a crowd of 51,000 the next game when he gave the Reds their third straight conquest in the 15th inning.
He swings his one over the mound. That is gloved by Cash to throw to first. Not in time, and this one belongs to the Reds. Ken Griffey with a bouncing ball up the middle. The Dave Cash played behind second, but his throw to first was not nearly in time. And with Concepcion scoring, the Reds in 15 have defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 6-5.
Individual pride made things happen for the Reds in the dramatic season finale. Don Gullett worked 5 brilliant innings in a playoff tune-up. Unfortunately, Jack Billingham hurt his arm in a similar tune-up. Ken Griffey was overtaken by Bill Madlock for the batting title when Madlock got 4 hits. But on a positive note, Joe Morgan pinch ran for 1 shot at his 60th stolen base.
Outfield shading Davey around toward left with a big gap in right center. There goes Morgan. Pitch is taken, and the ball knocked the glove right off the hand of Dale Murphy. He wanted to come up firing, and I'll tell you, the velocity of that pitch simply separated the glove from Dale Murphy's hand. So Morgan gets his 60th steal in easy fashion.
Tony Perez, in his final at-bat of the season, needed a hit to reach 90 RBIs for the 10th straight season.
Jory Alba comes set and pitches. Perez, a base hit into left center field. Here comes Doug Flynn. Here comes Bob Bailey getting the green light, and he's going to score a 2-run single for Tony Perez. He's got 91 RBI.
And so it ended, just as it began, with offensive fireworks. The Reds won 11-5 on opening day, and a record 2,629,000 fans later, they closed with an 11-1 conquest October 3rd. Johnny Bench forgot the club's best record in baseball quickly and looked ahead to another world championship.
In 1921-22 Giants were the last to do it in the National League. It'd be a great feather in our hats, and I think that's what we're all looking for. And if the good Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll be there.
In the next 5 days, the tension grew for the championship series opener in Philadelphia.
Right now, we're going to see the 76 League Championship Series unfold. Carlton into the windup. The pitch to Pete Rose swung on, and a line drive base hit into left center field. Maddox sweeps into the gap. Rose takes a turn, and he's going to be in with a head-first slide for a double. And this game is underway in a big, big way.
Marty, Pete said, the first pitch that Mr. Carlton throws, he said, I don't care if it's 6 feet over my head, I'm swinging at it.
Pete Rose hopped on Steve Carlton's first pitch to kick the Reds into high gear. They moved on to a playoff sweep over Philadelphia and then a World Series sweep over the Yankees. It was the first such 7-game postseason sweep in history. A record playoff crowd of 62,640 in Veterans Stadium screamed for the powerful Phillies to halt the Big Red Machine. The Cincinnati starter was Don Gullett. Gullett worked out of one early jam by retiring Tim McCarver with the bases loaded. The Reds trailed 1-0 when Rose faced Carlton for the second time.
Carlton delivers it, swung on and hit the right field. Ollie Brown charging in. He misjudged the ball. Rose on his way to second, chasing it down Maddox. Peter on second. He's coming into third, standing in. Ollie Brown, I don't know what happened to that baseball, but he ran right by it. I would have to imagine that Ollie lost the ball in the lights. It was unbelievable. He ran right by the baseball. So Pete with a triple, his second base hit of the ball game.
Ken Griffey walked and stole second. After Joe Morgan was retired, Tony Perez stepped in.
0-1 the count. The pitch. Swung on, that's hit well to right field. Going back, Ollie Brown tagging his Rose. He'll score easily. And it's a tie ball game. So going to second base, and Tony Perez with a sacrifice fly ties it up here in the third.
After 5 tense innings, it was 1-1. George Foster, who had not homered since September 5th, confronted Carlton in the 6th.
Had 4 of his 29 homers against the Phillies this season. Here's a drive. Here's one. If it stays fair, that could be problems. And a home run to left field for George Foster. And the Reds here in the 6th inning have bolted out in front of Philadelphia at 2-1.
Gullett added his bat to the Big Red machine.
Carlton waiting for Gullett to stand back in. Has a sign from McCarver. Comes set. There goes Geronimo again. Here's a line drive right by the shortstop, Larry Boa. In to score, Concepcion. Throw to third. In safely, Geronimo. It's 3-1 our side.
In the 8th, Tug McGraw relieved Carlton with 2 on. He got Geronimo and faced Gullett.
Bench leading at third. Concepcion at second. The stretch and the pitch. That is grounded to first base. That's going to be a fair ball. It goes by Allen to foul ground. 2 runs are going to score. Gullett heads towards second base. A head first slide. He's got a double. And the Reds lead it 5-1.
Gullett suffered a slight muscle strain in his leg running the bases. Raleigh Eastwick relieved the left-hander, who had stopped the Phils with 2 hits in 8 frames.
Eastwick sights a sign from bench. He stretches. He delivers. Hutton swings. Line drive. Right center. Griffey is there. And this one belongs to the Reds. Tommy Hutton hit it well, but Griffey was there to make the play on it. And the Reds have jumped out in front in the opening game of this 1976 League Championship Series with a 6-3 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Reds stole 4 bases in the game, 2 on pitch-outs, as they openly challenged McCarver's arm. 8 of their 10 hits went for extra bases on the rock-hard playing field. The Game 2 starters were Jim Lonborg and Pat Zachary. Their ages, 33 and 24. Lonborg was a Cy Young Award winner and World Series star in 1967. Zachary was 15 years old that year. Lonborg spun 5 hitless innings, and his mates grabbed a 2-0 lead. But in the 6th, the Reds were set to explode.
He checks Concepcion. Rose swings. Ground ball, base hit into right field. Johnstone charges. They wave Concepcion home. The throw is going to be way offline. Boone had to go 3/4 of the way out toward the mound to corral it. Pete Rose with his 4th playoff base hit, and this one a big one. The first hit of the game for Cincinnati, and on top of that, it produces a run to make it a 2-1 score. Lonborg kicks and fires Kenny a ground ball, base hit into center field. Here's Rose taking a turn. He's coming to third, and the throw will not be in time. It goes off Schmidt's glove. Griffey moves to second base on the throw to third. Bases loaded, run in, 1 out. Garber will work from the stretch. He kicks and he throws. Swung on and lined off the glove of Dick Allen into right field. Here comes Rose. Here comes Griffey. On to third is Morgan, and the Reds lead it 3-2.
Well, Marty, it looked like there might well have been a play on by Boone and Allen, because Dick was moving toward the bag, and Tony reached out and hit the ball that way, and I just believe that there was a play on, a pickoff play, between Boone and Dick Allen because of the way Allen was going toward the bag.
Following the screamer hit by Perez, George Foster's groundout gave the Reds a 4th run in the inning. Pedro Bourbon relieved Zachary after 5. His lead soon grew to 4 runs at 6-2.
Bourbon working. Here's a swing, and that should do it. He jammed him, and Rose's play will be at third, waiting. And this one belongs to the Reds as Pete Rose gathers in Mike Schmidt's pop-up. And this series will now shift to Cincinnati with the Reds holding a 2-0 lead.
The Reds clearly had their 4th National League pennant in 7 years within their sights as they returned to Cincinnati. The Game 3 pitchers were Gary Nolan and Jim Cott. Cott, like Lonborg, was totally in command through the early innings. A single by Perez was the only hit by Cincinnati in the first 6 frames. But the Reds were once again about to explode, though they trailed 3-0 in the last of the 7th.
Cott delivers, grip swings, bouncer up the middle, backhanded McKay, hit his throw, not in time. Kenny Griffey, with that great speed, beats the throw by a half step, and we got something going. Reed has a sign from Boone, the stretch and the pitch. Tony swings, base hit, center field.
and that'll score Griffey. And on his way to third is Morgan. And Maddox goes to second base. Well, the Reds are on the scoreboard. It's a 3-1 game. Runners at first and third, nobody out. And George Foster, the batter. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit into right field deep. Going back, John Stone, and he has room. Middle of the warning track, makes the catch. Perez tags, but he'll hold up as Morgan jogs in from third base, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Count full now, so the runners will be on the move. Perez and Bench. Tony at second, Johnny at first. The pitch. The runners go as it's swung on and looped down into left field. Colin coming hard. He can't get close. It bounces by him, and here comes Bench. And the Reds lead it. Geronimo on his way to third. Mike Smith having problems picking the ball up, and he's there. And the Reds lead it 4-3.
But the determined Phils regained the lead off Raleigh Eastwick. They had won the season series from the Reds, and now they led 6-4. The Reds and George Foster had 3 outs left.
Again, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fly ball, back into deep left center, and you can chalk that one up. It's gone for a home run. Not a bad way to begin an inning in which you need a couple of runs to get even. He's behind at 1-2. That was the count and the pitch that Foster took Reed downtown on. Bench is back in, and Reed serves it up. Swung on, fly ball, deep left center field. Maddox on the warning track, looking up. It's gone! Johnny Bench with a home run to left center, and the Reds have tied it up on back-to-back ninth-inning home run. They're on their feet at Riverfront, and it is tied at 6 runs apiece.
Phil's manager Danny Ozark replaced Reed with Gene Garber.
He winds and he pitches. Concepcion, a bouncing ball, base hit to left field. Davey jumping on Garber's first pitch and singles to left, and there is the run that, if it scores, will give the Reds a National League pennant.
Young Tom Underwood promptly walked Geronimo. Ed Armbrister was sent up to sacrifice.
Here's Underwood with a check in the pitch. Armbrister, third base line. Good bunt. Schmidt has it. Throws to first. He got the out. But a super bunt by Armbrister moves both runners up into scoring position.
Rose was walked intentionally, and Ken Griffey was the hitter with 1 out and the bases jammed.
1 ball and no strikes on Griffey. Underwood with a slow come down to the belt. He throws. Griffey swings. Slow chopper right side. Here comes Concepcion. Tolan boots the ball. And the 1976 pennant belongs to the Reds. It was a high chop along the first baseline. Bobby Tolan could not come up with it cleanly. Concepcion scores, and it is pandemonium down on the field, as the Reds have scored 3 in the 9th inning and have swept the Philadelphia Phillies to move into the 1976 World Series. Fans standing all over the ballpark as the Philadelphia Phillies went to the bottom of the 9th, leading by 2 runs, and boy, what a comeback by the Big Red Machine.
The Reds had taken their 6th playoff game in a row, covering 2 seasons, and they had now accomplished phase 2 of their goal. What followed was another 3 days of waiting for the World Series opener in Cincinnati. The New York Yankees got a 9th inning home run from Chris Chambliss to beat the Kansas City Royals in Game 5 of their championship series. They headed for Cincinnati. The Yankees arrived the day before the series opener. Manager Billy Martin shocked the press corps by announcing that right-hander Doyle Alexander would start Game 1, and he intoned that he was not impressed by the Big Red Machine. Tradition spoke for the Yankees. They owned 8 wins in 9 World Series games with the Reds. Don Gullett, the Reds starter, was appearing in his 8th series game at age 25. Joe Morgan, hitless in the playoffs, staked Gullett to a first-inning lead.
Alexander's 3-1 pitch to Morgan. Swung on, long drive, hit deep to right field. Maddox going back. It's out of here for a home run. Joe Morgan gives the Reds a 1-0 lead.
With the score knotted at 1-1 in the third, Concepcion made his speed pay off.
One out here in the bottom of the third inning, a 1-1 ball game. The Reds against the New York Yankees as Doyle Alexander works to Red shortstop Davy Concepcion. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Swung on, line drive, hit to left center field. Mickey Rivers, Roy White. They'll not be able to get to the ball. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Here's Concepcion rounding second base. The throw goes to third. It'll not be in time. Concepcion a triple to left center with just one away here in the bottom of the third inning.
Concepcion, batting ninth, had set the table for Rose.
Alexander comes set. The 2-0 pitch to Rose. Swung on. Fly ball. Hit to center field. That'll be deep enough to get the run in as Mickey Rivers drifts back, makes the catch. Concepcion tags and comes in to score. It's 2-1 our side.
The Reds sported a 3-1 lead by the seventh.
The Reds lead at 3-1. Bottom of the seventh inning. Pitch to George Foster. Swung on. Line drive left field. Base hit. Roy White bobbles the ball. Foster started towards second base but then changed his mind. Here's a 1-0 delivery to Johnny Bench. Ball is hit deep to right field. Back is Elliott Maddox. It's going to be off the wall. Now the ball bouncing past Maddox toward the infield as Foster rounds third. He's going to score. And Bench pulls into third base with a triple. It is now 4-1 Cincinnati.
Gullett dislocated a tendon in his right ankle while pitching in the eighth. Pedro Borbon finished the game.
2 out in the Yankee ninth inning here. Oscar Gamble at the plate as Pedro Borbon kicks and deals. A high pop on the left side, foul ground. Pete Rose over near the Yankee dugout, and this one belongs to the Reds. Yankees go 3 up and 3 down in the ninth inning. The final score is the Reds win Game 1 of the '76 World Series. Cincinnati 5, the Yankees 1.
After the victory, the extent of Gullett's injury was disclosed. He would have his ankle in a cast for 6 to 8 weeks. The first designated hitter for the Reds, Dan Greason, was 0 for 4 in Game 1. And Tony Perez had reversed his series start of 1975 when he was 0 for his first 15 by collecting 3 hits. The next night, the first ever Sunday night series game found Catfish Hunter on the mound opposing Fred Norman. Hunter was 4-0 in World Series play, owning 2 wins over Cincinnati in 1972. But the Reds rocked him in the second.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Dreesen. Ball hit deep into center field. Back is Mickey Rivers, still going back. It's off the wall. Rounding first base and digging for second is Dreesen. He'll hold there with a stand-up double. Hunter ready with a pitch. 3-1 on the way to Foster. Swung on, line drive, center field, base hit. Round third is Dreesen. He'll be waved in, and the Reds lead at 1-0 as Foster picks up his third base hit of the '76 series. A single into center field. Here's a pitch to Bench. Swung on, line drive, left center field. That ball is going to go to the fence. Here's Johnny Bench rounding first and goes into second base with a double. Hunter checking the runners. The 1-0 pitch. Swinging, line drive, right center. It's going to fall for a base hit. Bench around third. He's going to score. Digging to third base is Geronimo, and he makes it safely. The Reds lead it 2-0. Here's a pitch to Ken Griffey. Ball is swung on, hit into shallow center field. Mickey Rivers coming hard. He's got it. Now they tag Geronimo at third base. He's going to try to score. The throw from center, not in time. The Reds take a 3-0 lead.
But Catfish regrouped and slammed the door after giving up those 3 runs. The Yanks tied the score, and Jack Billingham replaced Norman. The game appeared headed for extra innings with 2 outs in the Reds' ninth.
Hunter trying to retire the side in order here in the ninth inning and send the second game of the World Series to extra innings as he kicks and deals. A pitch to Ken Griffey. Swung on. Slow bouncing ball hit to short. Brett Stanley charges. Off balance throw. Got by Chambliss and goes to the Reds dugout. Cincinnati getting a big break as Ken Griffey goes to second with a winning run. And the batter is Joe Morgan.
Hunter put Morgan on first base and pitched to Perez.
Score tied 3-3. Runners take their leads. Catfish Hunter in a 2-out jam in the bottom of the ninth inning as he throws to Tony Perez. Pitch is swung on. Line drive. Hit to left field. Coming around third is Ken Griffey. Roy White up for the ball. Throwing to the plate. It'll not be in time, and this one belongs to the Reds. Tony Perez jumping on Hunter's first pitch. A line drive hit to left field. And the Cincinnati Reds have taken a 2-0 lead in the 1976 World Series. Final score, Reds 4, the New York Yankees 3.
Billingham had retired 8 straight batters. He had allowed just one earned run in 25 1/3 World Series innings. Monday was a travel day and a chance for the Reds to get their first look at Yankee Stadium. Game 3 the next night matched Doc Ellis and Pat Zachary. As the Reds have done throughout the season, they fashioned a big inning.
Ellis kicks and throws, and that pitch is hit off the pitcher's glove, but fielded by Willie Randolph. Quick throw is high, and Dreesen is going to be safe. As it took Chambliss off the bag and really had to climb the ladder to keep that ball from ending up in the seats behind the Yankee dugout. And now again dealing to George Foster. Here's a fly ball hit well to right center field. Gamble on his horse will not be able to run it down. That's going to get Dreesen around third and onto the plate as Foster goes in standing up at second base. Here's a line drive off the glove of the first baseman Chambliss. Throw to first and not in time. Doc Ellis coming off that mound like a shot. He got to first base, but as Chambliss leaped and hit off the end of that big first baseman's mitt, Randolph on the outfield grass came up with it. The throw did not get Johnny Bench, and George Foster moves on to third. Here's a smash on one hop. Nice play by Stanley. On to Randolph. Throw to first. Not in time, and the run is home. Well, the multitude of umpires behind the first base bag contending that Randolph's quick throw to Chambliss beat Geronimo, but not so, says Bill Deegan. Ellis stretches. The runner goes. They call for a pitch out. Here's a throw to second, and Stanley lets the ball get away from him. They had him out by a country mile at second base. And Stanley allowed the ball to hit off the heel of his glove and picked up by Willie Randolph. Here's a fly ball hit to left center field. Charging is a left fielder White as Geronimo gets a green light coming around third and on into the plate. And now the ball getting away from Stanley on the throw-in, but picking it up is Nettles to hold Concepcion at first. It is 3-0 Cincinnati. And I know that Billy Martin must be inside a little bit irate because he talked in the 2 games in Cincinnati about the flares that the Reds had in that pair of games at Riverfront Stadium, and Cincinnati is flaring Doc Ellis and the Yankees to death here in the second.
The next inning, Dreesen struck again.
He swings and hits one a ton. Deep right center field, and it's out of here for a home run. Danny Dreesen taking the ground tour as he jumped on a fastball from Doc Ellis and deposits that shot into the seats in right center, the second home run of this World Series, and the Reds shoot their lead out to a 4-0 count.
The Reds' lead was sliced to 4-2, but they manufactured 2 more runs in the 8th. Will McEnany, like Billingham the game before, was summoned for the first time in 1976 postseason play. He had retired Chambliss in the 7th. Chambliss faced him again in the 9th.
McEnany looking in. Runners take their lead at first and second. The pitch to Chambliss. Swung on. Fly ball left field. George Foster toward the line, and this one belongs to the Reds. Here in the 9th inning, New York with no runs on a couple of hits as Cincinnati's Reds move to within 1 game of winning their 2nd consecutive World Championship. Tonight, they defeat the New York Yankees in the 3rd game of the series by a final score of 6-2.
The Reds had not trailed in any of the first 3 games, and they had become the first Reds club to win their first 3 World Series games. Game 4 followed after a day of rain in New York. Yankee starter Ed Figueroa faced pesky Joe Morgan in the 4th.
3-1. Well, the last thing in the world Figueroa wants to do is walk this man because he makes things happen for the Cincinnati Reds. That's ball 4, and Morgan is on.
And Joe promptly stole second. With 2 outs, George Foster put the Reds in front.
Line drive over Stanley's glove. Base hit. They're going to wave Morgan to the plate. Roy White will throw on to second base, and the Reds have tied things up here at 1-1.
And Johnny Bench, who had redesigned his batting stroke after the regular season, was batting 7th, as in the first 3 series games.
Swung on to the roll out to left field. If it stays fair, the Reds have gone out in front. Home run, Johnny Bench. A line hugger to left field. The only question was whether the ball was going to stay fair or go foul. And Bench with a prodigious shot to left. His first long ball of this World Series, and the Reds have bolted out in front 3-1.
2 walks brought Bench to the plate again in the 9th.
Danny Dreesen holding his ground at first base, and here's a pitch to Bench. Swung on and hit deep left field. That might be his second of the game. It's gone, a home run. Johnny Bench with his second home run of the night. The ball bouncing out of the stands in left field. Roy White trying to decoy him, but the left field umpire, Lou DeMiro,
hero was out there signaling home run, and Johnny Bench has been the man of the hour for the Cincinnati Reds tonight as he homers for the second time, and the Reds now lead by 4 runs at 6-2.
The Reds got another run, and Will McInerney had a 7-2 bulge as he faced Roy White in the ninth.
So the Cincinnati Reds are out away from sweeping the 1976 World Series. 2 outs. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Roy White. Swung on. High fly ball to left center field. That should do it. Foster has it. And the 1976 World Championship belongs to the Reds. The Reds have swept Billy Martin's Yankees decisively by a 7-2 score in the final game, as the Reds become the first National League team since the 1921-1922 Giants to win back-to-back World Series.
The sweep seemed almost too easy. Manager Sparky Anderson had not made one replacement for his 9 regulars, including the designated hitter. Bench was voted the most valuable player. And as they walked out of historic Yankee Stadium, the home of some of baseball's greatest teams, the Reds felt they belonged. Their pride led them to the next challenge, a 3rd straight year at the top.